Oh, bloody hell. Alas, I have made it. On time. Sort of. Oh, how's it going, everyone? How's it going? Already registered for all the races and stuff, so we're good on that front. So I have noticed an annoying little thing, and that's the silly... this little heart thing. It's kind of just... there still? Whatever. I don't care. it can live there. But yeah, hey, how's everyone doing? Sound very low energy? I think it's... hang on. Maybe a little... just kind of getting into the frame. I was kind of sat at an awkward angle, just kind of propping everything up. But yes. Oh. We are ready. Sort of. I've done absolutely no practice. I've luckily got everything set up, but yeah, right as I was about to start streaming, Mother Nature called, and had to go and take care of that. Right, I need to be a shill for the stream. I haven't actually done that yet. Whoops. Also, I don't know if anyone noticed, but I've changed it now, but I completely forgot to change the title. I just changed the 1 to a 2 and then just clicked go. Or clicked setup, and I was like, yep, that'll do. And then when I actually started, I was like, oh, shit. This actually isn't aligned. Oh, whoops. Oh well. It's the same name as last week, should I say. Whoops. But that has been fixed. And shilling has been complete. Probably right about time for the server to start. No. Maybe I should. I feel like I probably should just create, like, a universal thumb. But I feel like it's good having a unique name. I've kind of stopped giving a shit about a unique thumbnail. Even though it's, like, what, 5 minutes? Just open track with car, do lap, get image. Then go and do the same. Oh, okay, the servers are pretty nice. You know, go and do the same again on the other one, and then just slap them together over the template that I already have set up and jig them around a little bit. But, I was like, it's 5 minutes I could do with somewhere else. Alright, cool. We're in. Get rid of that. Seeing we've got 9 people again tonight, so it's at least consistent. It's not really where I'd want to be. And there are different names from last week, which is interesting. Some of those are for the good, because the it doesn't seem like the undesirables from last week have returned. No offense if you know who you are, but no kamikaze, I had my luck already, yeah. Still give me a little toot. I am completely failing on my brain. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm gonna just throw this setup on. I don't think it's gonna help me at all, but we're gonna throw it on and see what happens. I need just something to work with here as we head out on track. Yep, hey Handy, how's it going? Also, if I didn't ask you already, how's it going, Adam? This car's got a lot of grip. After driving that Alfa Romeo last night, this thing feels like a magnet. Holy cow. Hoping for more luck too, yeah, hopefully. Oh, you're working on your track again. Nice, nice. Absolutely glued to the road this thing is. Oh. The red chemical. That's one way of calling it. How's the Alpha race? Both races for me were rather disappointing because I got decent starts in both, but ended up losing out through getting involved in incidents that weren't my fault at all. Had other cars just kind of slide into me and knock me off and knock me around and stuff. However, in race 1, we had an almighty pile-up on the first lap. Race 1, turn 1. Almighty pile-up. Only one car was not involved, and that car obviously went on to win the race. It was an absolutely ridiculous series of events. I'll probably show it after this, if you haven't seen, just for the sake of how funny it was. I couldn't help but laugh. Had to get Michael to send me the replay though, because he didn't save. We switched too quickly from the races, so I didn't have time to properly process the replay on my end. Oh, I hit that curb. Ooh. Need to release it this year. Ooh. You know, I've begun to realize just how much of this year has gone already. Oh, it really doesn't feel that long ago that I was sat here on like January and being like, 2023. Now it's like, holy shit, we're in the second half of the year already. We're already starting to formulate ideas and stuff for things that are going to be happening in 2024, and it's like, what? Why do I have such little fuel in this car? The hell? I don't know. Ugh. I actually felt pretty decent. I don't really know if I want to change anything on this. Maybe give it a little bit more rear stiffness. maybe get away with that a bit more here. We'll try it and see what happens. Might as well keep this minuscule amount of fuel in the car. Not like I really need a lot. We'll just see how it goes. Because it's qualifying time. Everything, I assume everything's shown alright. Yeah, okay. Cool. Just quickly tapped out to check on mine, and it seems to be fine. Whoa. Snaking. One thing I can confirm, though, is we poodle around on this outlap. I mean, I'm used to, I haven't raced in months, but most of the stuff I'm editing things I did months ago, planning to release them way later. Yeah, sounds about the usual for you. So damn, that heart thing, can I move that? No. That's annoying. Kind of cuts off the chat message. Oh well. But I kind of... It only cuts off like one word, but it's still enough to make it annoying. Oh well. That's a later me problem. To get my brain sort of engaged in race mode. I actually start extracting something out of this car. But yes, in other news, one thing I can announce, which I was meant to at the start of this outlap, was that it's finally time. Another special event will be coming. Very soon. I was actually supposed to announce it yesterday, but I ran out of time last night preparing the video. Spent a bit too much time getting distracted with other things. Well, procrastinating. The video is basically ready. I just want to make sure that like it's actually good to go. I also... Well, yeah, the video is ready. It's not great, but it's ready. I just need to get other things set up so that when I launch the video, I'm ready to deal with stuff. But, yeah. I didn't have time to set that up last night, so I was like, I'll hold off releasing the video. But, yes, new special event coming, so keep an eye out on the channel tomorrow for, some, juicy news. Finally opening my OnlyFans. Fuck's sakes. Also, why the hell would I announce special events through there? Then nobody would turn up. I was gonna say nobody's gonna pay me to bloody host a sim racing event, but technically has happened before. I was able to convince a few people to give me money so I could buy the content for the iRacing Indy 500 a few years back. Could be fuck's sakes. Oh, the understeer through that second last corner. Oh, almost in the barriers. Why can I not? Oh, I'm on the wrong. That'd be why. Silly me. Okay, what do I want to change? I think I can get away with removing the rear wing completely. I'll leave that as it is. I think maybe do a little less rear camber. I'm just clicking. If you couldn't tell, I'm just clicking random shit here. I don't actually know what I'm doing. There was something I wanted to change. I can drop this down by 1. I think that was what it wanted. Handy behind me. I sat 5th at the moment, okay. Not great, but not the worst, so... But yeah, shit. I'm excited. I think this event's going to be pretty cool, and it's actually not the event that I was speaking about months ago. That's a different event, one which I still want to do one day, but that day is not now, because I had a shower thought over the weekend. Given that I wasn't at Goodwood, I had nothing better to do with my life. So, of doing something that has the potential to be pretty cool. It could not be, but I'm hoping. I'm holding out hope that the stars are going to align and we're going to get something pretty cool. So it's a Star Wars thing. No. Well, I mean, if you wanted it to, it could be. If you wanted to show off some Star Wars related thing. But, oh, Jesus. It's a big slide. Should have just about enough fuel to do another lap here. Hoping that should be a little bit faster though, that lap. I previously did. Yes, it is. Puts me in 5th. I don't know if that held me in 5th or if I was lower. I wasn't really paying attention to the board. Love this track though. And a car like this, it's just kind of a bit crazy. Oh, Mika's gone off. Rip. felt decent. See what we're gonna get here. Come across to the line, still in 5th. It's gonna keep me in 5th. Fuck. I actually wasn't far off going higher though. Not far off of Yari. Could definitely improve on that lap. But I am quite a ways behind the cars ahead of me. So that will be interesting. Shovel a bit more fuel in the car. Try and extend it out to the 20-minute race distance. I could trim it back a little bit. Probably to about 16. No, it's a little too little. I'll leave it at 18. I think that should be good enough. I think maybe on the rear wing I'll add 1. Just 1. I think I'm going to leave pretty much everything else as is. Cheers for luck, I'm going to need it. Oh, I did all caps. Didn't want to do that. I did grab deliveries as well for the Javelin later, so I will have the custom skin that I was lacking last week. Go ahead did not get off to the greatest of starts. And the guys ahead of me kind of stacking up a little bit. Use the opportunity on Miko, get ahead of me getting really sideways. Bloody hell. That really stunted my run. It's going to allow Kevin up the inside line. I'm going to rim it around the banking here, see what I can do. The exit of here, get a bit too wobbly. Kevin's sitting ahead. I'll read your message once things settle down a little bit more up here. A little hectic. It's going to be quite a busy race, I feel. Quite a busy track. Especially in a little car like this. Little pocket rocket. And Kevin shifted pretty late there. Yeah, I think it should be... Yeah, we're permanently on the version we ran last week for this championship. So, yeah. I did just copy... I literally did that. I just went and straight threw the liveries into the folder for this one. Or for the, stock version that we're going to be using. Yeah, I'm already signed up for that race. I sign up for both races before I start the stream. Just to make sure I don't have to worry about registering then. Understood there. You don't want to do a Donny, yeah? I always like double, triple check, so I like to make sure. And if not, I've still got time afterwards to register, so. Ooh, big slide. Kevin, I think it might just about be on my slipstream. But I think I have a faster car in a straight line than he does. Mari and Mattia up ahead fighting for the lead. Trading places as well as Yari and Miko ahead fighting over P3 and 4. I hit the curb, that's going to screw me. Just about kept it on the track. Took a bit of a horrible line into that corner. The car is skidding around on me a bit. More than I'd want it to. Snagged that curb, but I got lucky there. Oh, I'm in the grass, not as much as Kevin though. That pretty much eliminates his challenge. Miko and Yari continue to battle up ahead, which does help me out a little bit. Helps me sort of try and reel them in a little bit more. Not quite enough here though. Maybe though if they go side by side through this corner, that's gonna hopefully... No, but they do stumble over each other. If I don't understeer so much, that would have helped me. They are all over each other, bloody hell. Lead battle seems to have dissipated a little bit. Mattia stretching out a bit of a lead now on Yari. Or Ilmari, sorry. Oh, Miko goes very wide after he takes third place. Still holds it though. Miko has begun to stretch away in third place a little bit. Like I'm a little bogging a little bit out of that corner. That's okay. Oh yeah, I got very sideways there, so did I. As I said, though, this is a very involved track. There's a few bumps. There's a lot of fast corners that sort of swing into one another. There are these nice straights that we have at the back and at the front, but basically in between those, it is constant corners. They're not the hardest corners known to man, and they are really fun, but do need to be paying attention. Or to be able to keep the car hooked up properly through them. So stuff like this can happen. It's cost me a bit of time there. Oh, Kevin's gone off again behind. Unlucky. So he continues to bleed time trying to catch up, I think. But I'm also not really making much of an impression on the two ahead. Stretch further away. Which isn't good. Getting the hang of this YouTube stuff. Already talking about impressions. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, I'm not making much of an impression on the cars ahead, are you? I'm pretty certain I've used that line before, right? I don't know. I took a lot of shit in these live streams, so... Wow, that's a big bump there. Oh, Stuart must have had a big off. He's retired. Unfortunate. Yellow flag up ahead. One of the leaders is gone. We saw the searches. But they're back to fighting ahead. That might help bring them in a bit closer once again. We'll see. As Yari takes back third place. Oh, I get a big slide. Just cost me a lot of momentum. Oh, Miko's gotten a bit of a slide on. He saved it, though. It cost him a lot of time. As he's now fallen a lot closer to me. He's over 2 seconds ahead. Now, a little over 1 second ahead. 10 minutes left on the clock. If going down to third there was necessarily beneficial. Maybe I should have left off that one wing that I put on, but with the lack of practice, I wasn't quite feeling fully confident in the car. The pressures also seem a little overboard. Maybe could have dialed those down, but again, no real practice going into this, so I'm just kind of winging it. Hello, Mihao. How's it going? Well, I think we could have a little sideways there again. Can I do this corner flat? Oh, I can. I think I've been lifting there this whole time. I could be wrong. Definitely did feel a lot faster through there that time. I didn't want to hit that curb. I worked out though. I didn't die. Yeah, racing in different communities though, it is kind of funny seeing how relative the sort of concept of skill is. You know, you go to some places, you open a can of whoop ass on them, you go somewhere else, they all open a can of whoop ass on you. It does make me think sometimes though, you know, how many cases are there in sport where there is someone who could be better than the greatest who's ever done it, but the only reason why they haven't is because they just never got the chance. I think sadly the answer for that, especially in the motorsports ladder of how much money it all costs, I think is Probably yes. Probably quite a few people who, you know, were they able to have the funding and the equipment needed to get up the ladder, they could rise to Formula One and like the other upper echelons of motorsport and absolutely kick people's butts. But no money, so they just either have to give up the dream or stay put in lower divisions for their whole life. He is, but also isn't. I think he's been already proven to be a very powerful force in V8 supercars. I don't really know much about his background, though, so I can't really say if, you know, he came from, like, a background where it was a lot of very hard-fought battle to get to where he is now, sort of deal. But, I mean, yeah, as much as that win was crazy, I think we do have to throw in the bone that there were a lot of extraneous factors at play in that race that helped him get that win. That's not to take away from his skill. He is still a phenomenal driver. But to, you know, there are a lot of factors at play that weekend that I think helped make the transition and the ability, his chance of winning that race a lot greater than it maybe would be were a normal event. Yeah, obviously picking the street circuit, kind of a golden bullet there. You know, picking a track that he is already, a type of race circuit that he's already an ace at. Add in the extra wild card that it's a brand new track to NASCAR, and a lot of the drivers there have never really driven a street course before. That kind of gave another little leg up to him. Then you add in the crazy weather, and that just threw a giant spanner in the works. So, you know, there were things that I think made the win more likely. But yeah, it is still a very crazy achievement, and one that definitely deserved a lot of praise. I mean, street tracks are quite different to normal road courses. And NASCAR, I don't think, has ever had a street circuit on its roster. At least not in the last, like, 20 years or so. So it's a bit of a different kind of circuit that the drivers haven't really experienced before. Also, it was just a new track in general to NASCAR. Nobody had raced on the track before that weekend. So he had a little bit more work to do in practice because he had to learn the car. But, you know, he was kind of on a more level pegging because nobody really knew the track going into it. That's kind of what I was getting at there. And V8 Supercars does do a lot of street circuits in its roster. It's got a nice blend of the two. I don't know if Australian roads are as bumpy as American roads. I'd assume they probably are. But, But yeah, no, I think, you know, while it's really impressive to see him as a rookie in Cup win his first race, it does kind of... Oh, I've gotten this very wrong. It does kind of feel like it's, you know, he's a bit less of a fish out of water than other debutants have been over the years. At least debutantes from other championships that weren't on the NASCAR ladder previously. Definitely could have done with a little bit more practice, I think, before tonight. Getting a little bit more of my bearings in with this track, I think, would have helped me be able to have a bit more speed and confidence here in this race, but I didn't. Basically got none, so is what it is. But I guess kind of looping back to the original point, I do think that's also why it's kind of impossible to proclaim someone as the greatest of all time in any sport. Because a lot has changed. Things change over time. You know, the standards, the rules, everything sort of changes over time, and as years and years go by. And so being really good only really means that you are the best of who is currently playing the sport, rather than being the best ever. And you know, you can never really properly compare that, even outside of motorsports. I know motorsports is a really obvious one because, you know, the car is a very core component of it, and the cars themselves were very different back then to how they are now. But even in, say, something like football or running even, you know, running is like probably the most basic sport when you think about it. You know, the standards and whatnot have changed a lot since, like, the days when it first started. So being what it took to be very successful back then is very different to what it takes to be very successful now. But we forced to compare stock drivers and current drivers to stat alone and be like, he's better. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people like to try and label someone as the greatest of all time, but it's always kind of a fruitless task, really. Because, I mean, even if, say, like, you know, let's say in a crazy world that the cars have somehow remained exactly the same for, like, the past 50, 70 years, you know. Obviously, that's never going to happen, but if the cars somehow remained exactly the same, like, and it was just the drivers, I think there would still be a lot of change. You know, there have been a lot of changes over the years over the sort of standards that a driver needs to keep to. As we've learned more about and have gone further and further into detail about what can give you some kind of advantage. I don't think there's really much to look at here, but we can take a look. Because, I mean, some of the... I mean, well... Look at it. Fangio is like the sort of first stalwart kind of Formula 1 driver to be like a hugely successful talent. But when you compare him to like a driver of today's day and age, say like, you know, Max Verstappen, who is currently an unstoppable force in Formula 1, they're completely different in terms of just person. Oh, he got a big slide there. You know, Fangio was a lot older, a lot more mature in some regards. But he also was nowhere near as fit as modern drivers are. So it's kind of just impossible to truly compare people from generation to generation, as the sort of standards have changed all across the board. You know, these days drivers have to stick to a strict diet and fitness regime, whilst back in the 50s it was probably drinking a bottle of wine and smoking a pack of cigarettes between the races. Or between the sessions, should I say, on the weekend. That's basically it for my race. I don't think anything else really happened. I'm trying to think. No. Nada. That was a fun track, though. A fun combo. Shame I couldn't be more competitive, and shame we didn't have more people. Would have loved to have had a bit more of a stacked field. I guess I could say that pretty much every week. Well, at least these last couple of weeks. Double check. We are registered for the upcoming race here. In the... My brain is failing me. I apologize. In the AMC Javelin. Up at Brands Hatch. We've got 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Guess I can bring up the old results here. I can quickly run through those. See how the championship is sort of rattling out after the first couple of weeks have now concluded. Just give me a couple of seconds and I will get those up. Okay. Hopefully. Hey. Ta-da. Yep, so Mattia wins the race over Ilmari, who was a little bit behind, about 5 seconds back. Then it was Yari, Miko, myself, Kevin, Handy, Stuart, unfortunately retiring after 5 laps, and Henning, who seemed like he wasn't able to attend. I think he was having some issues with the files or something. I didn't get a proper look at it, unfortunately. Stuart was the only one to get an incident point in the field, which is interesting. Other than that, pretty stagnant race on the chart by the looks of things. Battle for the lead in 3rd and 4th. They had a bit of a fight, but other than that, not really much. Today, 2 months without any sim. Damn. Pretty crazy. I'm saying to you, someone like me when I was racing against this, I can't board talking about low numbers and ads on the site. You know, it has got me thinking, you know. Has got me thinking. I'll talk about it more in a minute. Just want to quickly run through these results. Obviously, Mattia leading the championship, not by a lot, only 3 points over Yari. Ilmari, not far off either, only 7 points back. Miko is a little further back. I am a little further back off of that. Then Handy, and that's the last of the full-time runners. Here comes the yes and no. Exactly. You're waiting for it. It's coming. That was the wrong thing. I want to enable this. So, yeah. It does make me think. It does definitely make me think a bit about sort of why do I do this and what I really want to kind of get out of doing this. But seeing as we have a bit of free time, I'm going to show you the start of race 1 yesterday, because this was fucking hilarious. Just for the sake of prosperity, I'm going to put it in full cinematic view. We are watching from Michael's perspective. Given that he was the one who sent me the replay. However, I will switch to mine. Actually, we'll put ourselves in... It doesn't want to select me. Fuck you. I think this is me. Yes, it is. But yeah. It's got me thinking about why do I do this and what do I really want to get out of these races? I think it is kind of a natural thing, though, that summer is a bit of a drop-off point. You know, people go out and live lives rather than sitting at home and sim racing. And then it's when the winter starts rolling back in and they stop doing things and they're like, ah, shit. Sim racing time. Okay, here we go. Down to turn 1. It's all fine and dandy. However... Uh-oh, things are happening. It keeps going. It keeps going. And it keeps going. And there you go. Oh, not quite over yet. Absolutely insane series of... a better camera I could have put in. No, we only have the one. Okay, I might bring it a little... Summer is a factor, but can't be the only factor. Yeah, crazy internet. It started up front here. It just gets a little too hot in. And, that sort of starts a bit of a pinball of chain effect as cars start bouncing around all over the place. Absolute chaos. I'll tell you. Absolute chaos. And then there's this... Oh, poor Petter gets put down in a ditch. I put it on board from my POV, though. I was kind of miffed because I got a decent start, but I can't help but laugh at how stupid everything was. It just kept going and going and going. Because, like, I go in, I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay wide, shit's happening. Okay, there's cars rejoining, and I kind of, you know, I have, like, nowhere to go here. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to have to accept my fate, get knocked. And I'm like, okay, we're done. Nope, I get spun. And then get hit again and again as I'm trying to, like, recollect the car. And it's like, oh, fuck. Crazy series of events. This car is very slippery, though, as you can see here. Whoop, getting wobbly. I was kind of trying to get my bearings back after that, but yeah. Just wanted to show that off. That was really... a hilarious series of events, I gotta say. 12 minutes. We got 5 people in. It's not too shabby. But, yeah, I guess to kind of go back to what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, solar definitely isn't the only factor. But it is a factor, so I don't think we can really deny that. But which I guess, yeah, is what you said. But yeah, I don't know. I sort of need to really process where I stand on all this and think like what I actually, what I really want to do about all of this. I guess for a bit of B-roll, can dangle some loose fruit of what might be coming up soon. Does it take me really that long to leave the fucking pits? It really does. Okay. There you go. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough thing. Because how much... The platform does need some changes, I think, if it really wants to succeed. Or really kind of bounce back. And... what do you call it? Shit. Yeah, it does need... the platform could really do with some changes and tweaks. But the question is how much do I really want to push for those changes? I'm not sure. I think maybe at some point I do need to sit down and think, what do I actually want to do? Because I am kind of... While I don't feel like quitting anytime soon, I do kind of notice the kind of, the same thing that James sort of did. That it's kind of... It does kind of feel like that it's stagnated. Or like I've kind of stagnated. And while I don't really care too much about growth that much on this platform, it just kind of does feel a little more hollow these days. When less and less people are turning up, it does kind of beg the question as to, is it really something I should continue to bother doing? I mean, heck, I used to do like small, like private little community races for me and like a closed group of friends a little while ago. But we used to get, like, reasonable grids for a pretty small group of friends. We were getting, like, 7 to 9 people for these races. So that's not too bad, out of, like, a pretty small group of people. But over time, the interest kind of dwindled and dwindled and dwindled. And it got to the point where we're only getting, like, 3 people turn up for the races. And it was, like... And sometimes even only just 2. At that point, it was like, can I really be bothered to keep going through with all of this? Doing all the setup and stuff and all that lot if, like, nobody's gonna show up? And in the end, I was kind of like, not really. And nobody's really complained since I got rid of them. People have, some friends have, expressed that they would be interested in still doing some kind of racing. But, I don't know. I'd have to think about what I really want to do with that going forward. I remember a couple of them did pitch to me back then to do, like, my own kind of community racing, like, more open, but I don't really feel like I have the audience enough to really be able to do regular community stuff. Because I think doing like these one-off events every now and then, like the Race of Binners and the upcoming events they have planned, I think, those are fine. People will be willing to take, like, a day out to go and do something a little bit out of the ordinary, something a little bit fun. You know, it's a bit quirky and out there. But when it comes to, you know, sitting down on like a weekly or a bi-weekly basis to do some sim racing, it's like, I don't think most people are going to bother with that. But if you change and ask feedback only means so much they actually need to feel like the matter of people feel like they have points. Yeah. But some people won't change things unless there is a demand for it. So I guess that's kind of the double-edged sword there. Is that, you know, sometimes feedback doesn't really... Oh yeah, I binned it here, lol. Yeah, what else can we really do besides being like, hey, I think this needs fixing or improving, kind of deal. But it does bring a good point up, actually, of some discussions that I'd had with people in other communities who had been working on, like, community projects for things. You know, they kind of discussed about... One of the big things that I sort of heard from these people was, you know, they were sort of talking about the kind of fact that it felt like they were putting all this effort into something, and it felt like it was kind of going to nothing, and people weren't really grateful for what was being provided to them. But, you know, the comments they did get, they felt like people weren't really being grateful for what they were doing, kind of thing. And it was like, you know, I can kind of get behind that. If it feels like you're doing something for nobody and the only thing you really get from people is complaints, it can really dampen your mood to want to do things. Especially if it's like a thing that just you are doing. For example, I recently made trailers for a series. One of the tracks that for the event they decided to switch out after I made the trailer. I mentioned that one of the track I mentioned... I realized that the track I mentioned is dangerous for the series. Oh wait, hang on. For example, I made trailers for the series. One of the tracks selected for the event, they said switch out after I made the trailer. I mentioned that one of the tracks would be dangerous. I thought if I may include in a clash on the track. And only after the first in the series, they realized the track I mentioned is dangerous for the series. Oops. I mean, sometimes you kind of gotta... Next thing we went to race on track that I mentioned was dangerous. Yeah, one system, so with those sort of like small closed friend group community races I used to do back in the day, as I was saying, one of the sort of ideas that I sort of came up for that, which I think I'm surprised more communities haven't really tried, is actually oh yeah, I brushed against the havens here, but I still finished. Haha. Yeah, if you hadn't figured out by now, the event I'm going to be announcing is a bootleg Goodwood, but I'll discuss more about it in that video. Because there are some things I want to try and get out of that event. That hopefully kind of capture a bit of the spirit of Goodwood. But as I was saying, ooh, hello! A certain someone has signed up for the series. I'm interested. You're not... Yeah, no, I understand you're not dissing them, you know. I fully get where you're coming from. But what I was going to say was that one of the kind of And the kind of things I did with, like, the little races I did with friends back in the day. Which I'm surprised as a system more communities haven't really tried to incorporate for championships. Was while we didn't do proper championships, what I did was instead of having to go through the constant rigmarole of a sort of, like, voting system like we do, like, every week on SCB, for example, was to actually do, like, batch voting. So, like, we would do, like, batches of, like, 10 races. And in this group, everyone would get to submit 3... Everyone would get to submit 3 combos that they thought were cool. And I would then take all of these combos and shove them in a list. And then we would go on to a second round where everyone would then vote on this list of combinations. And we would then, from then, decide that, you know, the next 10 or so races that we were going to do. So, you know, if anyone complained, they'd voted on it, so it was their problem. It didn't stop people from complaining, granted. But I thought it was a pretty neat system, and I think if I do start to do my own community races that are separate from SRS in the future, I think that is something I would definitely start doing again. I do quite like the batch system. It gives people control and puts a bit more of a sort of community into it. Oh, Nero, is this a tricky car to drive? I don't think he knows what he's in for with this. Oh, good luck, boy. You're gonna need it. That being said, this does feel a little bit easier here than it did at Brands. Or Brands? Fuck. We're at Brands. My brain. Donington last week. Donington. That's the one. Oh. Oh, understeer. But yeah, I guess to tie the knot all together, in terms of the whole topic that we were on about earlier, I don't think I'm gonna stop doing SRS anytime soon. I think SRS is more likely to stop before I stop at SRS. Maybe. Obviously, time and circumstances will differ. But, I do definitely think that there are improvements that could be made to the platform. Just not quite sure on how would be the best way to go about trying to push for those to be in place, and whether or not my vision and other people's visions, and most importantly the boss man's vision, will all kind of align. Because I think that is the problem with a lot of projects, is that everyone kind of has different ideas as to what they do and don't want with a lot of things. I think that's one thing to really keep in mind. You know? Some things that sound really great to you sounds really terrible to somebody else, because what they want out of something is completely different to what you want out of something. So, like, yeah, I think I do agree with the sort of sentiment that that maybe there should be some improvements done to help make the registration process a little bit smoother. You know, when I've had friends who are interested in the platform, that's the main thing they always complain to me about, is that, you know, it's a bit of a hassle trying to get signed up to the platform. And people have, and I've had a few friends who have, but it has taken them a while. And, you know, by the time they've gotten approved, their sort of interest in trying the platform out has kind of waned. But on the other hand, there are probably some people in the community who are more happy with the sort of walled garden kind of style and would want even less people on the platform, you know? It's... or be more selective of who can and cannot join the platform, you know? I think it all just depends on your vision. I mean, a good example of that would be LFM for ACC, and I'm not sure if they do it for R-Factor 2, so I can't really say much on that. Oh yeah, 5-minute qualifying. Ooh, gotta get going. I should probably also... oh, there's a bit of a stack up at the end of the pit lane here. But, what was it? Yeah. So, one of the things... I've never done LFM on ACC, but from what I've heard, is that you have to do a sort of entry assessment. You know, you have to have certain things on your character license on ACC, and you have to complete like a time trial or something like that. And you have to go through all these hoops, which to me makes it seem way less appealing. I didn't care about it to be... oh, I fucked up. I didn't care about it to begin with, and if I have to jump through all those hoops to even start racing, I care even less. But, you know, I can see their idea behind it. They wanna try and hope that the people who are signing up to the platform are going to be people who are going to be more dedicated to it and are going to be more competitive. I don't think it's the right approach. But, you know, it is... and I mean, it's... well, I mean, seeing clips I've seen from people, there is proof out there that that system maybe isn't as robust as LFM would want it to be. You know, there's still plenty of idiots and rammers that make it onto the platform on a weekly basis. To cause chaos and whatnot. But, you know, it is a case of different philosophies. I'm not really sure on where I stand, though, on newbie, like, complete sim racing newbies being able to get into these ranked systems. On one hand, I don't think they should be straight up barred from doing it. You know, because you can jump into sim racing, and if you have, like, real life experience or experience outside of the sim in other sims, you know, you don't really want to spend a lot of time grinding your ass off in another sim that you maybe don't care about as much just to be able to do some races in them. But on the flip side, I do feel like it should be more discouraged. I don't think more serious ranked races and stuff are places that really newbies should be going. Of course, if they want to, they can. I'm never going to stop anyone from signing up to these races. I just think that, you know, things like community, hunting out like community races and whatnot, I think are always definitely a better place for people to get started on sim racing. Because I think that whole community aspect kind of helps a lot with a lot of things, you know, it helps get you a bit more engaged with sim racing. You got people who are a bit more friendly, you know, racers are a bit more friendly, you know, they're more open to mistakes. And, you know, in a lot of cases they are more willing to help, and they will willingly share things with you that in other circumstances they may not. And that is one thing I do really like about the community that we have here on SRS, the sort of like core community, is that, you know, there's some really competitive and fast guys on this platform, but a lot of them are quite, you know, they're good people. They're quite friendly. And if you were to ask them for help, they probably would give it to you. You know, I've received lots of tips over my time of doing these races from various people who have, you know, helped shed light on little tips and tricks that I would never have picked up otherwise. I've completely ruined this corner. Right. Oh, wait, no. No! I don't have time to do another lap. No! Ah, I'm screwed. I am screwed. God damn it. Oh, I fucked up. God freaking damn it. I think it's fine leaving the gear ratios as they are. I need a drink though, so I'm gonna have one. Of course my bottle is gonna be stupid. I'm sat in P3 currently though, so that's not too shabby. Oh, been talking too much shit. Okay, Matthias in pole. I'm not surprised. He's going again. Mattia in second. No surprise again. How far off am I? Quite a lot from Matthias. Mattia's no doubt going to close that gap up a bit. Kevin is in fourth. I got a nice buffer to him there, but maybe that was just a rough lap. Danny in seventh. No lap time on the board for him currently, but he's still out there doing a lap. Then we got the man himself, Enrique, and a 2:10, so he's got some room to improve. And he could definitely. Matthias improved to a 2-minute. Mattia went up to a 2:01. Where is Kevin? What's Kevin going to put in here? Oh, Danny's put it on the grass. He's thrown it away at the last moment. Unlucky. See what Kevin's going to put in. 2:05. It was an improvement, but not quite enough. Here comes Enrique. Who else we got? Nero. Nero did not finish his lap. I guess he probably made a mistake. Let's go on board now. I think he's the last car to finish. Yes. What's he going to do? 2:08. Whew. Be interesting to see how those lap times swivel over the race. It's gonna be gonna be tricky. It's gonna be tricky. That's for sure. Am I in my car? I am in my car. Good. Also, yeah, just to quickly show off because I didn't get around to. There you go. Voila. Fancy schnazzy livery from Adam. Still an idiot and forgot to run the skin app, so don't tell anyone. I don't think anyone else is running a livery. I think Mattia is the only one. So I'm not missing out on a lot. I think everyone else has just gone with the factory colours. Here we go. Lights are on. See what we can do here. Bit of a slanted grid here, so no doubt we're going to have to, yep, put on a bit of steering lock. Oh, Matthias getting very friendly with that wall there. Didn't quite touch it. That's fine. I think Danny back there got a rocket start. I have understeered a lot. I'm in the gravel. Kevin is coming flying up. I'm just going to have to take the inside. very slow and delicate with these cars around a lot of these corners. Try and get on the power. Try and pull away from Kevin. I'm not quite sure I have. Oh, they've taken each other out behind, but I put a wheel on the cross. So I fucked myself here. I have a penalty, goddammit. Okay, but I am clear. Okay, my button is not working to look behind me. Alright, okay, we got work to do. We got work to do. I think we can get on this podium. I need to clear this penalty somehow. In hindsight, I should have cleared it earlier, but I didn't. Because I am a fool. But I have the pace. I have the pace to get on this podium. No doubt Kevin and Danny are going to make gains over this race. I'm just going to serve it here. There you go. We're clean. We are clean. Oh. Alright. Funny enough, I am also racing here tomorrow night in the finale for the SCB BTCC Championship. Of course, not recording that, but just a little random thing I thought I'd mention. Finally, never have to drive that Infinity again after that. I do not like those cars. People raved about those RF2 BTCC cars, but if they all handle like that Infinity does, I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. Oh, I'm struggling so much. Why am I struggling? Oh, Danny is too. He's off. To work my way up here. Oh, almost made the same mistake 2 laps in a row. That would have been very foolish of me, but we're good. We're good. Okay, here we go. I guess another thing I was thinking about, though, to kind of loop back to the point of stagnation that I was sort of referencing earlier. It does feel like the stream viewership has been dwindling a lot recently as well. You know, I'm very appreciative for everyone who turns up to watch these streams. It's impressive that there is even an audience in the first place who wants to watch me poodle around in race cars looking like or fake race cars looking like an idiot for 2 to 3 hours every week. You know, it's awesome. But you know, it does kind of feel like the well is drying up a little bit. And you know, while I can sit here and talk into a void for 3 hours straight, it does reach a point where it does feel like it's like, is it really worth bothering to keep going? I thought I hit the shift up. I guess I didn't. We're very close here to Kevin and Danny. So we're going to be getting in this fight. I didn't get that right at all. But yeah, I don't know. There's definitely something I've noticed. Like, while I'm not really someone to care like a massive deal about the numbers, you know, I feel like it does reach a point where there still needs to be a reason for me to do these streams every week. Something that makes spending my time sitting here worthwhile. So when it feels that the well is drying up a bit, it's not such a great feeling. Oh, I fucked that up. I gave him a bit of a nudge. I'll back off a bit. Let him keep that position. I didn't mean to. Sorry. Little love tap. I just couldn't get the car stopped. But I guess in some way that does sound like I'm a little ungrateful, and it definitely could come across that way. But I am definitely grateful for all the people. Oh, he's in the gravel. All the people who show up and watch. You know, that's why I always make sure to even, you know, to not only thank the people who showed up and raced, but just the people who show up and watch, even if you don't talk. You know, it's great to have people coming along for the ride and whatnot. But I think everyone can understand that, like, I don't think you would want to spend, you know, like, a whole evening talking to a brick wall if you could avoid it, sort of deal. We're up to P4 now. Try and get P3. Front to a too far out ahead. But yeah, because I mean, you know, when I'm not here streaming, I am just sat in. I'm usually just sat in a Discord call of some sort. Oh, he's got a penalty. Danny has got a penalty. I'm almost certain of it. How is he gonna try and serve it? He's going to serve it out of here, I think. Maybe not. Or maybe he did. He's definitely gotten closer. Does he even know he has a penalty? I'm hoping he served it, because he is going guns blazing here. I would hate to see him get disqualified. Okay, he's good. He's good. He served it. The battle continues. I was about a second faster than him that lap. Wow. Oh, putting in the gravel is not going to help me, though. Still 6 minutes left in this race. We got time. Not gonna rush it too hard. Given that there isn't really anywhere I'm going to be able to get beyond this. I don't think. At least in this race. But as I was saying, you know, usually when I'm not here, I'm usually sat in like some kind of like Discord chat with like a bunch of friends and stuff, you know, and I can just share stuff with them, kind of thing. Have a talk, have some banter. So, you know, again, while that does sound in some ways a little bit ungrateful and selfish, you do kind of have to be in some regards. You know, if I'm not getting anything out of it, there isn't any point in me doing it. But, you know, it's a fun little distraction from the rest of the week's sort of activities that I usually do. Something a bit out of the norm. And you never know. There is a chance that something, even though it's incredibly tiny, that something might happen. And, you know, over time, things have happened that are interesting in one way or another. Oh, Danny put a 2-minute flat in that lap. Alright, I need to start focusing a bit more on the driving. You know, there have been some things that have happened that have, you know, that have been of a culmination of me doing all this streaming stuff that has made doing it worthwhile, you know? And I've loved it. But it does definitely feel like, you know, I'm always kind of filled with that sort of dread that, like, I'm gonna do these things, but nobody's really gonna watch or pay attention to them, so it's then like, you know, why bother putting myself out there? But I don't know. Maybe I'm just worrying too much. Damn, Danny's picked up a bit of speed here. He's proven to be quite tricky to catch. I think he's even extended the gap a little bit. That wasn't great through there. Minutes still on the clock. Still got time. Got enough fuel, which is good. 159 from the leaders. Not going that much quicker. Only about a second. Which is still quite a lot, but that's maybe not as much as I was expecting. What's Danny gonna clock in here? 2 minutes 7. I'm gonna clock it at 2:01.3. Not ideal. Danny's definitely got the edge on me at the moment. Still not quite gotten on top of this car. It is only round 2, but it's pretty obvious that other people here have definitely gotten to grips with this car's quirks a little bit better than I have. So I think that's... It is such a peculiar car, though. Oh, he got that corner wrong. You know, everything here kind of happens in slow motion. It's a very hard car to drive, but it's all really slow. And you really have time to sort of sit here and think, I fucked up. Ooh. Wow, okay. Hey, people. Yeah, my chat had been okay, wow. I've been sat here talking to a literal brick wall because, yeah, my chat has not been refreshing. Wow, that's a lot of... It's a lot of chat. I'm sorry. Yeah, it did just stop. It completely stopped. My last message was... that I had gotten was one from you talking about not dissing them, the series does look cool, which was... So that was 8:55. Half an hour ago was the last message I received. So I've literally just been projecting myself on a brick wall for the last half an hour. Oh, wow. Fuck you, YouTube. Alright. 30 seconds. This is going to be the last lap here. See if I can maybe make an impression on Danny and then quickly catch up on all this chat that I've missed out. There's half an hour of it. Fuck. That is annoying. So what's the desperate talk? I mean, yeah, I was literally just staring at a chat that wasn't moving, so I kind of had to fill the dead air with something. And, you know, I'm gonna blame you. I am on live chat. I always have it on live chat. But for some reason, it just stopped. I couldn't tell you why. It decided it just didn't want to update. On the stream's been running fine, right? Yeah, 480, 400. Oh, okay, this is a bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. I tabbed out to look at OBS. Oh, shit. I wanted to make sure that the stream hasn't been dropping really hard or something. Funny is that all the mess... Wow, that looks extra stupid. Oh, yeah, no, my chat on my end. But wait, that doesn't make sense. If it was updating, it's used... I literally opened this pop-up chat window, then I copy-paste the link into OBS. So how the fuck was OBS getting them when I wasn't? I mean, I guess this isn't a direct mirror, because you can't see me scrolling up the chat now, right? I don't think you can. I think you just see the raw messages as they are. So I guess my instance here jammed up and it wasn't... But on OBS, it was probably fine. Is that race done, though? Let's see if I can go one higher next time. This car is tricky, though. This car is tricky. Let me quickly catch up on all of this, though. I find a good example, like how long can be stubborn or sure about something. Sometimes it will backfire massively and you need to act quick. I like what SCB did before the current system for the fire races. Ask people for combos, people vote on them. The current one where you vote separately just feels off. Feels more like a popularity contest. All depends on the leadership if they want to accept the changes. Yeah, the SCB one does kind of feel like a popularity contest. I feel like when you see some things appear, it's pretty much... Ooh, this is going to be spicy, starting on the front row. You know, there are some things you see that appear in the votes and you're like, alright, well that's going to get voted. There's like, no point. But yeah, it does depend on the leadership if they want to accept changes or not. So people sign up with Steam login IDs instead of this IDBS. Who's going to send a pick of the IDs around the guy's Gmail? Well, the walled garden will be empty if no one can enter it. Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Are you going to ask for the people to compete? You see through the challenge runs and bypass the aim. Driving your car. Only if a customer, yeah. Aim for the boss of us the field. Could it be small? Next week. Well, I'm starting right next to him, so this could be spicy. Take him out first corner. I got a good start, I think. Can I get a good turn one? The answer to that is no. Well, maybe. I think he had to... Oh, I'm in the gravel! Fuck. I think me and him are, like, blocking the whole track. Oh, I think I've broken away. Yes, I have. Got a bit of a lead here. Oh, no! I think he went off. Hopefully nobody hit him off. Otherwise they may have an extended vacation. Okay, now we're back. We're back, okay. Could be that your browser didn't care to update the page, maybe. A resource limit activated on mine, so some pages stop working and refresh when I select them again. Yeah, could be. Could be the case. I don't know. It was funny. Never seen that happen before. Today has been a day full of weird problems, I'll be honest. I pushed out a load of changes at work, then I was like, oh wait, shit, there's this thing that I probably should change, then I had to go and change that. And then I was like, okay, yeah, everything is all done and dusted, and then like later on my boss is like, oh yeah, hey, the app that you updated is like just completely given up. And I was like, huh? But it was working fine earlier when I tested it. And then it just magically started working again as I started looking into it. And I was like, wow, okay. And we like looked at like the logs and stuff that I had created, which was the sort of work that I was doing. And it revealed that like some really bizarre shit was happening. Where it was just polling... Well, somebody somebody else had logged in to try and test the application on the sort of test branch that or the test environment that we have up, and they'd somehow triggered some page to start, like, or their permissions hadn't gone through properly, and so they'd sort of triggered a funny bug on one of the pages where it just caused it to constantly try and load itself over and over and over again. It tried like 100 times, but it just instantly failed because it failed to grab the user's permissions when they signed into the platform. And I was like, huh? So I'm not quite sure what happened there. I guess that's a tomorrow me problem. For work, but weird problems day. Might have been a little erratic there holding up Mateus, but I did kind of get thrown off balance, I feel. I don't really remember how Mattia got past me, even. I wasn't really paying too much attention to the race. I think the goal here is podium. If I can do P2 or even P1, that would be fantastic. But I think the likelihood of that is very slim, given the speed of these two and my lack of talent. I've already let one of them by. I'm about to let this... Probably not going to be too long now before the second one gets by. I did a 2:01 that lap. Ugh. Danny did the fastest lap of the race that one time around. Oh no, I flicked the gravel! And here comes Mateus. He's not gonna quite go for the dive bomb that I was expecting him to. So I'm gonna try and hang it round the outside here. I'm gonna let him have it. Oh, I hit him! I didn't want to do that. I hit him again! I didn't want to do that! Fuck. I didn't want to do that. I didn't... Sorry, Mateus. I didn't mean to. Still trying to get to grip. Oh, fucking hell, why am I wobbling around all over? Still trying to get to grips with this car. It's an interesting beast. This old Javelin. It's fun though. I gotta say, it's a fun challenge. It's a very stubborn car, but there is an art to getting it right. There is a sweet spot that you can put it in. It's a very weird car to race. Because, like I said, everything kind of just happens in slow motion. It feels. So you have a lot of time to really think about how much you've messed up when you do mess up. Which I think is what makes it painful, messing up in this car. Because you're like, oh, I can see this happening, but I can't stop it. I guess, yeah, speaking of challenging cars, I like, one of the things I like with jumping around in sim racing a lot is being able to try things out and sort of challenge myself, Lifting yourself out of your comfort zone allows you to, broaden your horizons a bit and find things that you may not have originally thought were fun, but are actually quite fun. Oh no, Danny! He's way off in the gravel. Oh, unlucky. And that is why, even though I, dislike some cars pretty heavily, I do try and stick them out. I do try and stick out the championships. And I do continue to sort of work on the cars and my understanding of them to see if I can sort of find that little nugget that'll give me the golden ticket I need to, really feel at home with the car. You know, I think some of these cars as well, they help you pick up some pretty useful skills by driving these different cars that you can really sort of use in other places. You know, even if they are pretty minor. It's always good to learn about things. That's one thing I do kind of passively try and do whenever I'm sim racing. It's kind of just with the way my brain works. I do always try and learn a bit more, you know. Even if the race is a bit shit, if I've learned a bit more about the car and about the track and about just anything in general, then it's not a complete waste of time for me. Like, trying to figure out the little nuances of driving this car at a reasonable pace is quite interesting. The Alfa Romeo, I mean, yeah, to be honest, this season's cars, I'm quite happy with them. The Alfa, they're all quite tricky cars in their own right. You know, this is, well, this. The Alfa Romeo on Monday is all over the place. It's a crazy car. You know, it's got no grip, the brakes are crap. And, likes to cook its engine, but it's a fun little package to try and work out. And the Estonia, well, I mean, giving that car a bit of extra power really sort of changes it. The normal 21 was a bit slippery at lower speed, but it was extremely planted, pretty much at mid to high speed. But with that little bit more power, it's a lot more you gotta wrangle with, which is quite fun. You know, I do always... Oh, that's a little much. Okay, we're good. I do always like learning. There are some limits, though. You know, some things I simply just don't find fun, and no matter how much I'll try and hit my head against the wall enough to see if I'll eventually click, but a lot of the times it usually doesn't, you know, in stuff like the touring cars, like the TCR cars, I guess front-wheel drive in general, to an extent. You know, in the Porsche Cup 992 that we did in R Factor 2, I just wasn't feeling that at all. You know, some of the cars we've driven here over the years, I just haven't really gelled with the 8.6 in particular. But, I do feel like with most cars, I can usually learn something from them. You know, and that's something that I always strive to do. And I think that's the thing, with the way I naturally go about things in racing, or in sim racing, the way I approach a really casual race is kind of the same way I approach a more serious race. But I think that's also because I don't really take more serious races very seriously either. You know, I pretty much treat the two races in the same way. Go back to the brand talk. I'm not sure what you could do to spice things up and stick to what you currently do. That is definitely true. No offense, but I can't really think of much outside of channel side of the SRS streams. And hang on. Oh, pardon me. Bloody hell. You do point out yourself that you don't want to stream much outside of them. Yeah. You are very true. There's no sugarcoating it. This is basically all I do at the moment. But that is why I did want... You know, I've been my own worst enemy of these. This is why I kind of wanted to start doing the events, you know? A, because I think I love doing little things like that. But also, you know, it's something a little bit more. You know? Gives a little bit more spice to the channel. And while these events aren't the most creative or groundbreaking events, you know, they've already been done elsewhere by other people, probably to a higher value. You know, they're little bits of fun that I don't think you really see much. And so... The reason why I don't really record most of my... I obviously do a fair few races outside this, but the reason why I don't really record a lot of them is because I've just never really felt like there was anything really worth sharing out of those. You know, yeah, we have some fun races and some fun battles, but, like, at the end of the day, they are just more races. You know, the average viewer watching isn't going to really give a shit about the sort of friendships that and the relationships that I have with the people in these communities, you know, that sort of makes me stick around and want to keep coming back for race after race. But, you know, to them, it's just more racing. And a lot of people do that already. Rarely anything you stream outside of there, and most of those cases tagged along. Yeah. I just don't really have... At the moment, I just don't really have anything I want to really do content-wise outside of these streams. And funnily enough, actually pretty much all the video ideas I have, really... whenever I think of, like, ooh, if I was to make a video, what would I make a video about? None of it really is sim racing related stuff. Outside of SRS streams and special sim racing events, all of it is just other stuff. And I have toyed with the idea of maybe throwing out a video on something completely out there that isn't related to sim racing and just seeing what happens. But I haven't really bothered. You know, and that kind of goes back to the whole clashing talk that we've butted heads on a few times, you know. Is that I don't want to stream an event just for the sake of being another perspective of that event, you know. I want to stream an event if I think it's an event that's interesting or I have some kind of connection to make it worthwhile streaming. Well, you know, if I think there's, like, an interesting story to tell. I mean, granted, I do have some interesting sim racing stories I do want to tell, but... But I would... be... Just never really got around to doing them, because I'm not really sure how I'd want to do them. They are quite complex. Well, a lot of them are, you know, sort of a year old now. So it does kind of feel like, eh. But I mean, maybe there's still interesting stories, so it could be worth telling still. That's a podium, though, even though it was a pretty quiet one. Nice gloves. Hey, you can thank Adam for those, as well as this whole livery for the Javelin. He made all of that. He made a few others as well. You can check him out on his Nexus mods. But also, hey Alexi, how's it going? Almost ran out of fuel. Ugh. Yeah, so like if I ask when's the next NR 2000 stream, you do play of why should I stream it? Might make it to a part tag along as a bonus content to an SRS stream. Yeah, you are True. And to be honest, I actually haven't played NR 2003 much lately. Oh wow, they were pretty close there at the finish. Only 0.4 of a second. Ooh. I was a bit further off of that. It's been like a year since I don't think many remembers your edited style on those who watch you these days. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But, you know, when it comes to making content... Let me just roll this back to the start. There you go. Yeah, when it comes to making content, I am the one who gates everything. So... Burnout Ultimate Edition comparison. No, that's already been done. That was a pretty... it's one of my most watched videos, but I'm not really that happy with it. I think that could have been a lot better. There's some things now that I definitely wouldn't have done in that video. I would have approached things in a different way. But, yeah, I did kind of... I mean, if you're wondering why, back in that video, I like, sort of showed the YouTube video as, like, a YouTube video in the YouTube player, rather than just downloading the video and showing it like that, was actually because... I couldn't be bothered to ask permission to use the video, so I just tried to make it so blatantly obvious that it wasn't my video. That was my sort of thought process behind that, which I don't think I'd really do these days, but it seems like younger me got away with it, so I'm not too bothered. Also, yeah, I'm not the most well-versed on Burnout, so probably not enough. Yeah, freaking also... Yeah, and we had Enrique. Yeah, that was an interesting surprise. Started on reverse grid pole for race 2. I'm not quite sure if that was maybe where he wanted to be, but... yeah. Whoa, this car is... It's challenging. It's challenging. Sorry for the couple little taps. I can't remember when that was. It was when you got past me. I didn't mean to. Just kind of like... I don't really know what I was doing. I was being a fool. I just ended up, like, nudging the back of you, and I was like, uh-oh, this is gonna be death. Oh, he got on the grass. No. Oh, could have helped you turn in. Oh, he just got stuck on the grass. Oh, tragedy. Yeah, way too over the grass there. And then down here. That's what he did, the same thing I did at the start of race 1. He just brakes and the car goes straight and off he went onto the grass. Ugh. Unlucky. Yeah, this car is definitely a beast that you gotta kinda learn. Yeah, Tia had a lot more speed. Okay, he just got past me here, yeah. Naturally. Well, a little bit. Yeah, I almost ran into... I think I did slightly run into the back of him. He was... yeah, he got into the gravel a little bit. Did I? Oh, a tiny bit, yeah. Did we touch? We did. Oh, little kiss. Yeah, because I kind of kept my foot in it. And I was like, oh wait, shit, he's slowing down. And I think not long after that, you find your way past. Yep, up into here. Yeah, because I fucking put a wheel in the gravel again. There you go. Take a little gravel bath. That's one tricky thing with this gravel trap. See, I get in it and the car sort of steps out a little bit more. It kind of pits you across. And you see, you sort of have to, like, turn left to kind of counteract that. Because you don't want to, like, obviously shoot across the track. Otherwise you just murder everyone. Ooh. Quite far away from the apex there. Here we go, yeah. Oh yeah, that was right. Yeah, I hit the brakes, so the car went straight. And I didn't really... Obviously, we kind of had, like, interlining, like, trajectory. So tap and tap. What? That wasn't even a tap, actually. I'm going to call netcode on that one. Oh, yeah, I think it was. It was basically nothing there. Maybe like an inch or two. But, you know, from that was pretty much my race from there. Let's see how you two got on. It seemed to be very close between the two of you. It's like 4 tenths, I think, the gap at the end. Oh, not much. Closing the gap slowly and steadily. Oh, you're right on him now. Yeah, I think you could tell this car wasn't really designed for being driven at speed around these twisty and undulating tracks. Yeah, you missed it. Rare appearance. Shots my trigger, you want to take a look? Maybe just... Oh, okay. Yeah, I can take a look afterwards. Oh, you can see even these guys, they're battling for grip and keeping this car on the track. Not easy to do. Yeah, okay, that was it. Never quite got a chance, it seems, to get past, but was very close. Maybe if you had 20 minutes, maybe. Maybe just more trees. Lovely. Oh, he's going for a little drift. Oh. Damn, executed. Can we get that on like a bit of a fancier camera? Let's see. It's not that one. Not that one. I guess the static will do. Nope, static won't do. I guess kinda. There you go. A little bit of showing off there, eh? Oh, maybe one of these, actually. Yeah! You get a full view of the corner. Kick it into a cheeky little drift. Lovely. Lovely. Oh, he's on the grass. He's fucked it. Oh no. Oh, it's a tank slapper. Oh, but he gets into another slide. Saucy. And then there's the indie layout. Yeah, that was good. That was good. Didn't have the pace there, but I'm quite happy with the gains I made with the car. I don't think I really made any... Besides the start of race 1, I don't think I really made any major mistakes. Just small ones here and there, but I think it's kind of hard to not do that in this car. It's a very easy car to get wrong, I feel. And, well, I think the people who jumped in with very little prep found that out the hard way. What's next? That is a good question. What is next? Just bringing up the results quickly to show them off. And we can quickly discuss those. So in race 1, Mateus takes the win over Mattia. Then Danny, myself, Enrique, Kevin, and Nero rounding off the grid. Nero the only retiree from this field. Everyone down from second onwards got an incident point. Oh, whoops. A little bit of chopping and changing around here, so... Next is a British multinational clothing, footwear, and home product. Fuck's sakes. Yep, then race 2. That looks pretty stagnant. I guess, yeah, race 1 did have a bit more Oh, it skipped. Oh, okay. It did the thing where it skips lap 1 again. So I guess that's why it looks a bit more stagnant. But I guess the rest of the field, I guess they... Well, no, yeah, there was... Yeah. That's a weird bug. I'm not sure why that happens. Because we missed the lap 1 stuff. Yeah, Mattia in first. Swapping places over. Mateus in second. Wow, everyone got an incident point apart from Enrique. Clean as a whistle. Mateus got 2, I got 2. I'm not surprised. From the little taps. I don't think both of our taps would have counted. I think one of them might, and me knocking into Mattia gave him that one, I'm pretty certain. But oh well, is what it is. That's why he's the boss. Maybe. Yeah, then Danny, Kevin, and Enrique. Lap time spread in race 2 was a bit tighter. Let's see, in race 1, there's a 2:02, a 2:05, 2:01, 2 minutes, 1:59, 1:59. Faster 59's here, so I guess you two pulled away a bit. But I knocked my time from a 2:01.1 down to a 2:07. Did Danny improve? Tiny bit. Not a lot, but it was consistent. I think were it not for his mistake early on, I think he probably would have challenged me a bit more in that race. Kevin with a 2:02. It's a bit of an improvement, about 4 attempts. Enrique with 2:05. It's actually a little bit slower in race 2. But I guess probably a little bit more consistent. Not sure. Maybe not. I think he caught. I think, yeah, there was a bit less shenanigans happening in race 2, so that kind of leveled that out a bit more, I think. Overall championship standings. Mateus holds the lead over Mattia. It's obviously going to be between those two, I'm pretty certain. Danny in third, scoring the exact same points in both rounds. That's pretty crazy. 2 podiums and 2 fourth places. Well, the same points orders are 95-92, 95-92. Damn. Yes, next week we're at Croft. That's gonna be a fun one. Oh. Yeah, I'm in 4th. Last of the full-timers. One podium. Yari with 1 podium as well, but he missed. Shame, actually. He was there in the... Oh, he was there in the Estonias, but I guess it's either too late or he just hates the car. Yeah, interesting. I think I may be a little... Don't think you love me, but I'll take the compliment. Yeah, Croft will be really interesting. Croft is... to be honest, I really like all of the tracks of this one. I do have a bit of a bias, I guess, but I do think the UK has some fantastic tracks. The track... Oh, no, yeah, the track limits. Oh, a dance with death. A dance with death. That's what it's gonna be. Yeah, you know, Donington I'm sort of impartial to. I like it, but I don't think I like it as much as some of the others. Brands Hatch GP, fucking amazing track. Croft, amazing track. Thruxton, also an amazing track. Very quirky track, I find, but once you kind of learn the nuances of Thruxton, it's really fun. Cadwell Park, I need... that one's gonna be... that one's gonna be really funny in this car. I tested it in the bigger brother, which has a lot more grip. So, I'm really not sure how it's going to go in this one. But Cadwell Park is quite fun. I do like Cadwell. And Silverstone, I think we've gone with the national layout. Not my favorite layout of Silverstone. I definitely prefer international and GP over national, but I thought it'd be an interesting bit of a different track to run. Given that I run international a lot when I run these sort of smaller club tracks. It's usually my go-to when we go to Silverstone. So, mixing things up a little bit there. That is one thing I have kind of noticed. I like going with sort of like themes and ideas and picking out what's fun for championships, but I do realize that I kind of repeat myself a bit more than I'd maybe like. I do try, I do in some instances try and introduce new tracks into the roster. But I do feel like there are a lot of similar culprits that keep rearing their head. I believe I do, yes. Have I looked at them? No, I have not looked at them in recent times. I did look at them when you first sent them to me. I did give them quite a good look through, but why there's no Alton Park? Yeah, there isn't any SRS approved versions of Alton Park out there at the moment. I would like to see one. Yeah, we did discuss them on stream once. Yeah, you're right. You're right on that one. Yeah, I would love to see an Alton Park that's to the sort of standards that we'd want for SRS. It is a fun track. But yeah, unfortunately none's really shown up, so kind of just gotta live with that. But we do have a good selection of cool tracks that aren't well, we do have a good selection of fun tracks already, so I'm not the end of the world. Did Rainmaker not upload one? I haven't gone through all of his tracks. There's so many. I guess we could take a quick look. Did he really just... Oh, that's AI. Okay. Let me just pop this out. Yeah, hang on. Let me just bring this up. Get ready to be flooded with advertisements, because Race Department. Love it. Okay. Rainmaker. All of his content. I'm sharing the right window, right? I'm hoping. Yeah. Cool. I mean, I do want to try out his version of Dijon sometime. Dijon's a track I've never driven, but it looks kind of interesting. It's a bit of a quirky. Do I even add block? No, not yet. That's AI, shader overhaul, AI. I do feel like some of these tracks he's uploaded are a little pointless because there already are really good versions of some of these tracks. Like, none here, I don't think. I think Tsukuba, actually, from what I've seen, is a little bit better than the version we currently have, so that's good. Yeah, Mosport, we've already got a really good version of Mosport. I don't really know why we need another one. Yeah, we already have a really good version of Bremgarten as well. That I also don't really feel like we need. I don't see any... Either I'm blind or I haven't seen Alton Park. I already had half of his stuff before, yep. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Oh, Monaco might be interesting. I have wanted a good version of Monaco for AC. Oh no, Detroit 1998 or 1988? Oh no. Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like there is any new versions for crap. any new Alton Parks, should I say? At least I didn't see any, so beats me. I did download a couple of his tracks though. As kind of a to look at them. They are pretty decent. But yeah, as you said, pretty much all of them were available already somewhere else. I think the tracks that I already had, though, I did re-download them just to make sure that they are, like, the latest version. I mean, Detroit Belle Isle is in that list, which is pretty cool. I'm definitely going to try and use that one in a future championship. I do like the Belle Isle circuit. I've raced it a couple of times in other places. It's a challenging track, but it's a fun one. It's kind of a shame they don't race there anymore. It's one of those tracks that you really appreciate more once you've actually driven it. Yeah, but as I said, definitely will be an interesting one to throw into the mix at some point in time. I'm not sure when, but at some point I would like to use it. But I do kind of like going for some degree of a theme with my championships, so it would have to feel kind of right with the theme. Dijon is fun, the shorter layout that is. Okay. Just to check, alright. So when you sent that message about Dijon, are you only just seeing that bit on Dijon now? Or is it, or was that just like a sort of slow reply? I just want to double check that there isn't like some delay that's gone on here, because obviously we've had a couple of weird issues tonight, and I mean we're basically at the end of the stream, but I just kind of want to know. You know, terrible idea time. If you have me on Steam, you might see what I'm doing, and I'm about to regret things. Regret things deeply. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I sort of have a feeling. Just checking you out. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Of course, you don't have to be on the ball with everything. I don't expect you to be. Oh, we gotta wait for it forever to load up. Actually, did I update it? Turns out these trees suck. Alright. Oh, not responding. Crimea River. For Pete's sake. Just load. Useless sim. Gotta replace them with 2D ones. Okay. Alright, it's time for Pain. I don't know why I'm booting this up. But I don't even know why I still have this installed. For that matter. Hot takes time. It is hot takes time. What do I want to drive? Somebody throw something. If it's a front-wheel drive touring car, though, I will stand you. Okay, well, we can't be violent. Can't be violent here. Okay, we can finish off on the shopping cart. I want something a little bit more serious, though, like an actual proper car. This is me trying to sort of reconnect with Race Room. Any front-wheel drive... God damn it, Andy. Alright, the NSU is a shout. Let's see what liveries we got. Oh, quite a few. Alright, time to get angry at the fan-favorite Race Room car. Ooh, what track? Basically have all the tracks, apart from a few. Charade. Oh, it's up here. Go Grand Prix. She will go Classic Racing School because I'm a noob and I need the help. I have raced this track before, but I can't remember. Let's put that down to 100 just to make sure. 34 cars, sure thing. Tire wear on. Fuel usage on. Practice off. We don't need practice. That's just a 2022 for SCP. Okay. We'll set custom qualifying. Oh, off. Okay. Race laps 5. We'll do 5 minutes instead. Race 2 is off. Cool. I don't want to spend too long on this. Oh shit, I didn't check. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. It might just be me on track, but I'm hoping there's going to be 34 other NSUs. I'm also hoping they haven't changed something that's going to break all of my inputs. But we won't know until we get in. And to find out. Okay, good. Good. I think we're just going to leave all of that as is. I'm going to push the steering lock up a bit, though. I usually need to in racing. Oh, I don't think I've actually raced this car. This camera is way off. At least not recently. Oh, what the hell? Just instant lockup. Alright. I wasn't really expecting that. Brake bias back to dial out some. These AI are all over the place. It's first race stream. I've actually streamed a little bit of race stream before, actually. It was when they released the FRX 22, I think, and I was talking about how shit it was, and I proceeded to flip it over at Portimao to prove my point of how bad it was. Guess this is after an SRS race? Yup, it was. Oh my god, what is happening? Alright, get out of here, boy. I murdered that man. Okay, the weird racing feelings are coming back, though. Like, let me remind you, this is a rear-engine, rear-wheel drive car from the 70s. However, or 60s, I'm not quite sure. But it's old, alright? It's like 50 years old. And It's rear engine, rear wheel drive. So it kind of sits in a similar vein to the Skoda. The difference is that under throttle, this car does not want to do anything but go straight. Look, I'm under throttle. It is incredible. It is too... It just... I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite right. You know, it just feels like glued to the ground sort of thing. Never wants to brake, you know... Like, look at the throttling, but I'm just kicking the throttle like a madman. It's not braking traction. But if I was to, say, jump into, like, the Skoda in, like, AC, I'd do the same thing. I'd be kicking that rear end out through the corners. Oh, I've given that guy a shunt. You have to do most of your rotation under the braking or through lifting off the throttle. Can't be able to these time. Piece of shit. Out of the way. I forgot how bad these AI are. I really don't like the racing AI. Right, you know, we're just gonna go to an empty track. Just kind of get a feeling for the car. That might be able these time like cars use these days too. Not quite sure what you mean by that. But the main point I was trying to get across with that was that the way the car is that the car... I feel like the car should lack rear grip. Like, the way it's set up, basically everything about the car screams that the car should be quite nimble on its rear end. It should want to swing the rear end out a bit. Even though it's got a little... It doesn't have a lot of power. Given that it's so rear biased, it should want to just throw the rear end out anyways. If you remember the Skoda, prime example, it's basically the same philosophy of car. You know, older cars usually don't have as much grip as modern cars as well, so that's another case. I mean, you look at the Alfa Romeo we've been driving on Mondays. That thing is all over the place. Same with the Javelin. It doesn't have a lot of grip. But this, when I'm on that throttle, the car is glued to the ground. Now you see, as soon as I put the throttle on, the car goes straight. It straightens up. I probably shut off best down here. Or if I don't fuck up the corner. Ooh. Not a great example. Okay, there's another hairpin here, or another tight corner. I'm gonna turn in and just hit the... You see that? It was turning, it was rotating fine off the throttle. But as soon as I hit the throttle, car goes dead straight. Like, I don't know about you, but from... I've never driven one of these cars in real life. That's obvious. But from what every other sim, literally every other sim has told me, this car should not do this. They look very planted. I'm not surprised that they are quite planted, because they don't have a lot of power. You know, the Skoda was very planted, but the Skoda was also very agile. You could really throw the Skoda around quite effortlessly. The rear end would want to pivot a lot better under throttle. But this, you know, look, I'm rotating, I'm off the throttle as soon as I hit it. Okay, that was not... But... Look a bit understeer, but the rear never really sticks out. But yeah, see, look, I don't know. I feel like I should be able to the way the car feels to me, it feels like I should be able to just push the car all the way throughout the corner, but then it starts understeering, and it's like, well, that doesn't feel right. So tell me you're saying bad things about the NSU. I am driving the ultimate understeer simulator, Fred. I'm complaining about its physics. So it is very me. I don't know. I feel like when I jam on the throttle in this thing, it should just want to do something on the rear, rather than just go dead straight. In some ways, it almost feels like, oh shit, I am driving a front-wheel car, which this is very much not a front-wheel car, you know? Sometimes, often, maybe. You know, I guess if we jump out of this and, I don't know, go into something else that's should also be quite pivoty. I guess the Praga. You know, jump into the old Praga here. But it doesn't have the grip and the rear spins its tires under power. Unless you're in a low-powered car, then it never wheel spins ever. The rear cannot break traction unless you're off the throttle or under braking. Then it just loses it randomly sometimes because fuck you. Oh, pardon me. Then it only understeers, yeah. Okay, there is no traction control on this thing. Good. Why does this camera feel wrong? See how this goes. You know, this is a lightweight, short wheelbase prototype with a mid-engine. No weight. A reasonable chunk of power for its weight as well. So this thing should want to go pretty nuts under power. Oh, I've locked up. It's very easy to lock up in this game. That's one thing I will say. Oh, I got dirty tires. See, look, I'm off the throttle and it's trying to kill me. But now that I'm on the throttle, see, I'm on the throttle just a little bit, and it's just turning me towards the wall. Like, you can't rotate a car under the throttle, it seems. The diff is completely open. But I feel like you could still rotate a car under throttle with an open diff. Maybe not as easy to do so, but you can still do it to some extent. Now, let's go. Can I not change the differential? I guess I can't. I meant the off-throttle snappiness. Yeah. But that's the issue. Racefrom just feels very backwards to everything I'm used to. You know what, actually? Time to grab a very ridiculous car, I guess. See, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, you know what, actually? We're gonna do a little bit of an unfair comparison, maybe. But, it's a comparison nonetheless. Actually, I've gone to the wrong track. I can make this a bit more fair. Okay, I'm about to do something very silly here. But yeah, I mean, as you said earlier about the shopping trolley, I actually kind of didn't... Like, the shopping trolley is a silly meme car, but I didn't really like it. And I think that's the thing, when you drive a silly meme car, and it's not fun, it's like, wow, okay, this isn't really a silly meme car. Well, I'm not really interested in the meme. Where the hell's... Where's the... Oh, it was being covered up by my screen. Race some hill climb. Like, you know, I thought it'd be something like a really crazy, like, go-kart sort of thing, but it just didn't really feel like a go-kart at all. Alright, okay. BMW M1 Pro car on a hill climb. Running it just at its default. A bumpy road. This car has an immense amount of power, but it was very easy off the line. I really didn't have to try that hard with it at all. Look, already understeering. Oh. This car barely rotates even off throttle. But if I try and rotate on throttle, it doesn't either. Okay, let me restart that. Try a bit more serious run this time. Sure. But I was off throttle then. Oh well, you know, I was on throttle. No, yeah, sorry. But I just went straight. But I guess the thing, I struggled so much to drive because this... I've broken the car already, fuck's sakes. I wasn't even trying to break the car, and I've already broken it. But like, I just can't. Alright, now if we get the fuck out of here, out of this shit heap, and we close that, and we swivel on over... I mean, the R Factor 1 races was just me goofing off and being really silly, you know? Like, if I really wanted to, I could have probably have learned that front-wheel drive shitbox a bit better. But I didn't really care too much. Over there, I was actually trying to drive the car. Now, for something completely different, though. Hopefully I have things set up correctly. Last time I remember this wasn't set up very well at all. But if I head on over here, we go to just custom. It was fun to do. I enjoyed doing it. Where tarmac? Where tarmac? Harmony. Would have rather have done this in RBR, but I don't really have RBR. Actually, no, I think I can do that. Maybe I'll do that afterwards. We'll see how this car handles. Here we go. Same car. On a similar style circuit. If anything, this is probably smoother than Race from Hill Climb. It is. It is the same car. Look at it. It's the same thing. But on the softs, we don't need spares. We're not a noob. Actually, I guess I'll carry one.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Absolutely love that sound.
Turn one left, don't cut, opens 100 to chicane, right entry 150, chicane, left entry 160, turn square right 100, flat crest 90.
Can't really see my wheel, but that's just because of how I have things set up.
6 left.
You can already see much more free and open this car is.
Over junction. 60.
I'm having to be...
3 right.
I'm not feeling the traction as much.
Into slow, turn square right, don't cut.
Oh, big snap there.
50. 4 left long, don't cut. Opens 200. To stop. Well done.
Bum holder. Fuck's sakes. I think it's fine leaving it as it is, actually. We'll try and quickly adjust my seat around so you can see my onboard.
Starts 50, turn 1 left, don't cut. Good luck.
Meter. Buttons. I really have to hold the handbrake to be able to do this.
3, 2, 1, go.
I had the buttons there. Where are they? No. I don't want that. Okay, that's about as good as we're gonna get it.
50, turn 1 left, don't cut, opens 100 to chicane, right entry 150, chicane, left entry 160, turn square right 100, flat crest 90, 3 right tightens into 6 left, opens over crest long, tightens don't cut 2 over junction, 60, 3 right, tightens over crest downhill, into slow, turns square right don't cut, 50, 4 left long, don't cut, opens 200.
See, I'm on the throttle. I'm able to rotate. Wow.
1 right, don't cut. Into don't cut 4 left. 100.
Admittedly, this is a little grippy than I was expecting it to be.
Right long, opens over crest.
We'll try and boot up RBR after this, I guess.
Into turn.
That's the one I'm more used to.
100. 3 left over crest. Don't cut.
I forgot how
80.
weird Dirt Rally 2's
4 right. Into 6 left.
tarmac is.
30. Crest. Bump into don't cut 2 right long. Opens over crest into 6 left over crest.
Oh, I'm on the grass.
4 right, don't cut. 100. 6 left. Open slow.
Yeah, look at it on a turn like that in racing though.
Square left, don't cut. Opens 100.
Oh, I've locked up. This is not going too well. Been a while since they've done proper rally though.
Don't cut. Into turn, don't cut hairpin left.
Terrible.
80. Flat right, 100. Flat crest, into 4 left long. Into 4
Can I
right
do this
long.
flat? No, I can't.
Opens over
Ow.
crest. Into
Wait, hang on. You know, actually, can I just do that? I can. Haha. I'm gonna hope this just works. It might not do anything. Can't crash like that, please. Alright, hang on. Let me just... hoping this works. There was like a load of updates released and had to jump through a load of hoops to get those updates, so I just never bothered. Please restart. No. I want to boot the game. Let me boot. Oh, it's booting. Haha. I haven't touched this in ages. Mainly because I need to do the update, and I've just never bothered. But I think I could still do practice runs without the update. I just can't connect to the servers. That's all I really want to do. Okay, it's loading. Cool. I can do practice. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Awesome. Get a nice little tarmac stage up. Kind of good one. Ooh, where is it actually? Where is my beloved? There you go. Be prepared to be deafened by an Irishman. You have been warned.
3, 2, 1, go. No, it's flat out of it, flat right, push out of it, go 100, go. One left here now, go 40 over, run over the jump, push out of it, go 100, go. And a flat one right. Over the dip slow, 40 out of it, from 8, 4 left here, tight to the 5, let in drive it, double the dip, one right, 60 up to a flat. 2 left, into a peg, line,
Tense co-driving, yeah.
Go 100 up to me. You got a flash, one left, over the press, be brave up here for me, go 130 up. Here, one right, over the dip, 200 all the way down to me, brother.
Oh.
One left, go 130 on, you're down here now.
We get.
Jump, push, go 209,
oh.
go!
No! Oh, we ate tree. Crap.
3, 2, 1, go! Go, it's flat, right, go 100 over quickly. Go 1, 2, 1 left, 40 out of it now.
It was an F indeed.
Go 100 here. It's all flat, keep the push, one right, over the dip slowing, 40 slowing, 4 left, tightens in a 5 left, in, double the dip, 1 right, then 60 longs. 2 left, 2 up, intake, line, long, 3 right, push out of it, go 100, go. It's all flat,
Had to be careful on the throttle there. I don't know if you could see it on the inputs. I had to balance the throttle to stop it over-rotating during the corner. Ooh, that bump's killed me. Ow. Okay, let's try a different stage. I'm gonna keep hitting that bump way too fast, so I know myself too well. I don't want gravel. I don't have that track installed, I don't think. Ooh, yes. I love this stage. Studek. How long before I crash? Probably not very far. I'll push way too hard somewhere and just whoop, bend. There is a Spanish one as well, it's really fun, but I can't remember what it's called.
Three, 2,
23.5 seconds, okay.
2 right here, long, tightens in a...
I'll hold you to it.
2 up, 4 right, in, drive it. Then go 1,
Oh, I need to remember that his calls are inverted.
1 right cut.
I was like, that doesn't like a 4.
5 right, this goes into up, over the press, tightens in a in, out to a 4 left. Into a 4 right, half long, now a 40 now. That's a crest, to a 5 left. Now this is a 4 right, half long, over the press, tightens in a 40 up to a flat. 4 right, in, drive it, over the press, 60 up to a flat. Press for 100 here.
Well, I lasted longer. Yep, ripped your prediction.
left, tightens it up. Down there, slowing gear, 3 right, cut, into it, 4 left, into it, left, in 3, over crest. Into it, 6 right long. Now you're going to 3 left, cut. This goes into a 4 right, over the crest, go, tightens up now, to it, 5 left.
Oh, I've locked up. Oh, in the wall a little bit, but I think we're good.
Go 4 right, tightens it up, in, east, go east, go east, 40 slowing. Left, tightens it up, go early, if you can, here for left, drive it, into a 2 right, cut.
Car's not the biggest fan of hairpins.
3 right, tightens up, drive it, in, drive it. Double crack, drive it if you can. 4 left long, double crack. 5 right, cut, then 60 longs. Hairpin right.
So you can see how much more I'm having to work the wheel in this thing compared to the racing one.
Go easy, 3 4 right, half long, tightens it up over another crack here, don't
Having
cut
to
it.
correct for the... Oh. Car's trying to go all over the place on me. This is the M1 Pro car that I am used to. Not whatever the fuck racing calls it. Oh shit, I'm in this wall as well. Ow. Shit, we've killed it. I lasted 2 minutes and 10 seconds. On the flip side, alright, I just remembered another car that we can use for a comparison here. It's not quite the same as a racing car, but this bad boy... Yeah, we'll go with the same stage. Alright, it's lightweight, short wheelbase, rear wheel drive, rear engine. It has even less horsepower than the NSU, only 55 horsepower. It does weigh less too, that being said. But, you know, it's a piddly ass, rear wheel drive, Eastern European car, with a rear engine. You see it bogs off the start proper. And yeah, it's very grippy. Like I can sort of, you know, wiggle it around a bit. The main thing you'll see is I can hold the throttle for a corner and have it not just go straight into a wall. Miracle, I know, right?
No, this is your 4 right, half long. Over the crest, tight set of 40 out the brother. 4 right, chain over the crest, I'll go 60 over brother. Press for 100 here.
Do gotta say, the co-driver does feel even more out of place in a car like this.
Here. Twin 2 left, tight set of... No, this is a slow and 3 right, cause 12 more left. 12 left, in 3. Over the crest, big 6 right long. You got a 3 left, cut.
She started understeering there because I lifted off the throttle. I was scared I was going to spin. So.
No, to it, 4 right, tight set of in driving. Now go easy, over brother. Only 40 here now, left, tight set of 4, leave hip and left here now. Into a 2 right cut.
It's one of the big things I don't like about racing, as I said. It just feels backwards. Doesn't feel right to what I'm used to.
3 right, go tightens up, chain number press, drive it if you can. 4 left here, block. Over the grip, 5 right, clock, only 60 here now. Hairpin right. Now you got 3 left, tight set of clock.
Now let's switch to a slightly different stage. We'll sort of work this car's muscles a little bit more. This steer deck is quite wide and open. Yeah. This bad boy. So I do feel like the little Fiat doesn't quite get the workout that it needs. So hey back. But I was saying that this is basically this is the closest thing we're gonna get to an NSU in here, an auction house or something. Your co-driver is quite fast. He's perfect.
3, 2, 1, go. 1 left. 1 right, go 150 out, bit for me. 3 left, go 3 right, go 100 up for me. Easy, shout 3 brother, 4 right, and go easy. 4 left here. 5 left, and go 100 here. 4 right, into 3 left. 3 right.
Because this thing we're gonna get to me, I've never
Four
drawn
left,
one
right,
the same image. What do you mean?
4 right, go, go.
This is a rear engine, rear wheel drive, compact car with low power
And you got a pair pin
from
right.
Eastern Europe. It's basically the same thing.
1 left here now, then 60
But unlike the NSU and Racetrim, this one actually rotates under throttle. Wow, look at that.
4 left, tight to the bump.
It drives how I would expect a car to drive.
4 left, 1 bump. 1 right, 100 over here now, brother.
Oh, that's a big bump.
Here, but left here now. 4 right.
It's half the size of the car. Yeah, but I mean, the NSU has like twice the power.
4 left.
This has like 55 horsepower. I'm pretty certain the NSU is like 120 or something like that.
3 left, tight to the left entry. Here, pin right.
I also just really like the Fiat, so shut up. I needed an excuse.
1 left, go 100 up for me. 4 right. 4 left. 4 right into a 4 left, long go easy. 1 right. 3 left. Over the press, this goes into a hairpin left driving. It's okay, go 250 for me. 4 right. 4 left. 4 right, this is fast, go! Up. Now you got an easy shout, big brother, 3 left, tight setup, this goes into a 4 left, tight setup, 150 up the there now, brother. Hairpin right, you can drive it.
I forgot, this is the slightly bent corner. Oh no, I hit the curb! God damn it. It was going so well. Until I should be nullered.
3 left, tight setup, left entry.
Alright. We're going again though. No damage. So we're good.
Over press, no 460 over, brother. 3 left. 1 right, go, 200, go! Go, down, can we go? 2 left, 2 right, then go 170 all the way down, now to me, brother. 3 left, lock, 150 up the there now, brother. Now go easy out of it, brother, go easy, tweak into a 5 right, then go easy, now to it, bump over the press, don't cut 60 out of it now, 4 right, into a 4 left. 4 right. 1 left, 60 out of it now. 1 right, go 100 up for me.
Don't know which one you choose. Drive and choose either 90 or 110, both.
4 right.
For the mod.
1 left here now, 60 out of it, brother, 4 right.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Woo! Saved it. Not quite. Hang on, hang on. Okay. We're good. Oh, stalled again. That was a bit of a ride. Okay, we're good. This is why you don't read chat during rally.
3 left. 5 right, long to a bump. 4 left, tight to the left entry. No, it is long. 4 right.
I mean, it is a bit pointless to compare them, but as I said, I just wanted an excuse to drive this car.
4 left here. 3 right into a
Fun little nipper.
Go 150 out.
Has like no power, so you can just hold your throttle
4 right, don't cut. Over another
It's all about momentum.
4 right. 3 left. 3 right. Tightens it up into one.
Also, because it's rear-wheel drive, rear engine, it's quite a throwable car. You know, it's very planted, very stable because of how light and low-powered it is, but because of its rear-wheel drive, rear engine nature, you can throw it around quite a lot. Unlike, say, like the Trabant or the Wartburg, where because they're front engine, front-wheel drive, they're not quite as fun to throw around. I chicken out a bit too much there.
Now you gotta go through again for me. 100 here. 4 right, don't cut it right in 3. 4 left into a 5 right. Number press. You gotta wait for left drive.
Oh shit. I think we're toast. Oh, we're sliding down. I'm not stopping. Ah.
4 right.
I cut 80 meters? How did I cut 80 meters? No, I'm just sliding down further. Oh, I'm on the rally stage. Come on. Come on, little guy. You can do it. You can do it. I think I might be a little stuck. Okay, well. That might have helped, I think.
4 left long.
There you go. We're up.
4 left, now 3 right.
We're good.
Go easy over brother, 4 left. 4 right, 4 left. Now go easy over brother, 6 right here. Then go easy. Now you got a spike left.
Oh shit. I killed people.
6 right, then go easy. Now you got a 5 left.
I wasn't expecting that section to be as fast as it was. Oh god, this is tight. They do this stage in WRC cars, it's crazy. Given that I'm finding it really narrow even in the smallest car and up. Good job, Agent 47. Oh. If only I was in second gear, that would have been extra smooth. The car is a bit crooked though after all those contacts. Hat suckers. Wow, that was smooth as well. Okay, those don't have collision few. But yeah, I guess the ultimate point as to why I decided to take a punt at Race Room was not just to dog on it. Believe it or not, I'm kind of at a crossroads. Oh my god, the thing is, I've bent the suspension. Oh, I think I've killed it for good now. Nope, she still lives. Maybe I've... She still lives. She crabs, but she still lives. You know, I'm sort of at a crossroads of race. I don't really want to uninstall it, and I do want to somewhat get involved with it, because, you know, SCB does a lot with Race Room and stuff, and, you know, doing stuff with SCB is cool. And whatnot, they do, like, cool events and stuff, but at the same time, I mean, as you saw, I just don't really enjoy it. It's kind of annoying. Because I kind of do want to enjoy it. You know, there's things that I would like to do in Race Room, but with other people, but when just the simple act of playing the video game is not enjoyable. Just survive the AC races. Yeah, no, I think we are planning to do that. The only reason they've been on such an extended hiatus is because every time we've tried to do them, either Gav hasn't been around or I haven't been around, so Yeah, they've kind of been impossible to run, really. But in the same breath, they're never going to be the same, you know? No matter how much we push AC there, it's never going to get the same involvement that Raceroom does in SCB. And some of the special events are only going to happen in Raceroom. But it's, you know, it's just a sim that I just don't like down to a fundamental physics level. This is what makes it painful. I mean, what? How many hours have I put in Raceroom? I have 155 hours in Raceroom. And basically all of those 155 hours have basically been me sort of trying to find that... trying to figure out Raceroom. Trying to get it to click. And I just kind of reached a breaking point where it was like, you know what? Why am I bothering? It was sort of like midway through the GT1 championship, you know. I'd been looking forward to that championship. I thought the GT1s were really fun, but when it came to doing the Sunday series, they just didn't feel good at all. They just weren't fun. And at that point, it was like, well... on SRS happens in the process most for the people who've been. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. If only you liked front wheel drive, TCR great and Raceroom. Oh no, I'll be honest. I think Raceroom, out of all the front wheel drive cars I've driven in Sims, I actually think Racerooms were pretty weak. I'll be totally honest with you. I mean, I guess I am no front-wheel drive aficionado, but I felt they were pretty weak. I really wasn't sold on them. Yes, to complete our round trip of the simulators. Live for speed. To kind of bring up an example, I mean, I think Lift for Speed has some pretty good front-wheel drives in terms of just raw handling. You pick out the base game UF GTR here, this little bad boy. It's you know, it's a front-wheel drive shitbox, but I can tolerate its handling. Still a front-wheel drive, so it's never gonna quite click with me in that same level as a rear wheel will. But, it's a fun little throwabout car. Jump there. Oh, I'm on the brakes too much. Bollocks. I binned it. I think you meant to say LFS rather than LFM, I'm going to assume. I could pretty easily, but, you know, obviously need people to own all the content. And no doubt people would complain about the lack of stuff and whatnot. Or lack of licensed stuff and whatnot. I don't know. I have thought about doing a... Oh, this section keeps throwing me off, because I just want to hold the brake. I don't know if SRS supports Live for Speed. I'd have to talk to Enrique about that. I'm not sure. If it's even a thing that's possible. Okay, this track is throwing me through the rings. I'm too used to rear-wheel drive around here. There's like sort of little... This track is full of like little trappings that I think really catch you out when you're in a non-rear wheel car. Like if I grab the big bad boy Formula V8 here. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's a possibility, and I don't know if anyone would show up, so that's also kind of the other thing. Yeah, after the ACC P-Cars 2 and NASCAR flops, I'm not sure Enrique will try. Actually, he has seemed open to the idea. He did pitch it to us, the idea of trialing out other sims, but nobody really... I think the closest one that came to really getting any traction was ACC, and that never really went anywhere. Nobody really pushed for it enough to make it a thing. Because I think from the way it is going to be, if they are going to return, they're going to have to be a hosted series. But I mean, he was open to the idea of more sims coming in. But I don't think Live for Speed was ever really in the discussion. You see, I'm kind of just tapping the brakes here because this is quite a tricky corner. And this is the reverse layout of the track, so it is a little bit of a weird corner. But I think with the way this reverse layout is, it kind of flows a bit better in general than the normal one. People still sound this because ACC is mentioned as a supported sim. I mean, that's the thing, if people are registering for it, then they need to talk about it. Be like, hey, you know, I'm looking for ACC. And then, you know, if he sees people are asking for it, then maybe he'd be more inclined to do it. But I personally haven't seen really anyone complain about ACC not being on the platform. But yeah, as I was kind of alluding to earlier, I have contemplated before of kind of hosting a bit of a open Live for Speed demo night, where people can, you know, it's just an open community event where people, you know, can, well, we'll do some like little races on Live for Speed using the demo stuff. You know, people can download it for free and they can join in the server. They don't have to pay a penny. The game takes like 2 seconds to download. It'll run up with a potato. So there's, you know, if you've got free time and you have, you know, some kind of a setup that can do gaming, then why not? But I'm not quite sure on how I want to do it and what would be the best way to do it, so I haven't really done anything with the idea, but it is something I'd maybe like to try one day. Oh, it bottoms out pretty hard through there. It weeks registration and then find specific forms to ask, somebody say. I mean, maybe. You're not wrong there. One thing I have learned on the internet, don't take this the wrong way, I mean, but I have noticed that a lot of people on the internet pretty much want things handed to them on a silver platter. And if they have to do any kind of work to get there, they're instantly out, you know? And it's one thing I've noticed. You know, a lot of people here who are, you know, the more active members in these sort of communities are usually more willing to put a bit of work in to get things going. But is your average casual Joe, they want to just press a button and have everything work for them and be all sorted and stuff. And if it doesn't work, then you should get on it and fix it immediately, you know? This isn't just a specific SRS, this is just a general internet thing. From things I've noticed in various internet communities that I'm part of. I mean, it's gotten so bad that I see people on communities genuinely, like, you know, one of the communities I'm in, they have, you know, one of the big projects that the community sort of spearheaded is creating a wiki for the game that the game is based around, the game that the server is based around, you know, so that people can, there's a lot of information already written down about the game, and if you want to know things about it, you can just kind of go there, and we can just quickly link it if people ask questions about it. But the amount of people who come in and just expect to just be spoon-fed the answer, and when you tell them to go and look it up, or that, like, you know, you tell them that all the useful information is on this one platform that they can browse to their heart's content whenever they like and get the answer immediately, they're suddenly incapable of doing that. And it's like, but you have every answer you could ever need right here. You know, people don't want to read. They just want to ask and be given the answer. I don't want to do anything these days, I found. And it's kind of crazy. But that's pretty much anything. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It is just a general internet complaint that I have. It's nothing related to anything we've been talking about. It's just kind of something I've noticed on the internet. You know, there's the age-old quip of read the fucking manual, but we are slowly entering an age where there is genuinely going to be people who don't know how to read the manual. And I mean, in some regards, that's exactly what companies want. They don't want you to know how to fix and maintain your own things. You know, because then they can make you send it off to them and charge you excessive amounts of money to just remove a battery or something really simple and stupid. It's a lead not to read. Ooh! However the Simpsons quote goes. Oh, the bottoming out through that corner is crazy. Well, I do feel like there are some elements of Live for Speed that could definitely do have a bit of modernizing. I gotta say, I do think the main core of this game really just holds up well to this day. It's just a damn fun sim to get into. I'm just mindlessly lapping here. I'm having fun. I was just chatting out of my ass. So there's cases where context matters, i.e. when I was installing my modular power supply, the name was wrong as the manual and I had to look up videos on YouTube. I mean, yeah, the printing errors and shit can happen and whatnot, but my point was more, instead, like, you went and you proactively looked, you know, you didn't get the answer you wanted out of the manual, so you went and looked it up somewhere else and found the answer, you know. You went and searched for the answer yourself. You didn't just complain about it and ask about it until somebody gave the answer to you, you know. I feel in the tech videos these days is crazy. I'm not surprised. There's filler in lots of content these days. I mean, heck, technically what I'm doing right now is just filler. Ooh, that was a nice save. But yeah, that's, you know, my point was kind of more that people aren't willing to try and find the answer themselves. You know, because before I ask a question anywhere, I usually try and exhaust as many options as I can. You know, unless I know someone really well and I know they are like an expert in a certain subject, I'll usually try and exhaust as many resources as I can to sort of find the answer that I'm looking for. And if I can't, then I'll look for someone who might know the answer and be like, hey, you know, I've looked at all these different things. Because, I mean, that's the thing. Some people just come out with a question and they expect you to just magically fix their problem, yet they give like no context, no information, and it's like, okay, you know, they don't even try and understand the problem. They just see a problem and they're like, uh-oh, somebody fix this for me. And I mean, if I tried to be like that in my work, I'd be like fired on the spot probably. Because basically my entire work is all around problem solving. Trying to find the best way to solve a problem. And dealing with lots of complicated, interconnected pieces. It's funny, John on every tick video says, read the manual. And I'm there because the menu is wrong. I mean, true, but it's not the tech video's problem that the manual is wrong, sort of thing. It's the manual's problem that the menu is wrong. The company should give you a manual that is correct and up to date with everything that you need to know to be able to do the stuff that you want to do with that product. You know, documentation is a very important part for everyone, really. Both the end user and the people who make these things. You know, they need documentation for it as much as we do as the user. If anything, they need it more. Ooh, that was a much better lap. For a second faster than what I did previously. Oh, I snagged a little bit there. Whoop. Oops. But also sadness. Got a bit carried away there, just turning lap after lap after lap. To be honest, this is also pretty cool. Another little cool lift for speed feature. I don't think I've really spoken about this one. But as you can see here, we've got this upcoming events list. So on the Live for Speed website, they have this on the Live for Speed website, actually. Of like a calendar of like community events. So communities can come on and list their events on the Live for Speed website. And but they added an update in one of the more recent updates that sort of adds it in here into the main menu. Is the thing that you can interact with it and stuff. You know, you can sign up. Some of these have no sign up required. Some of these require you to join a Discord. Some you can click to join and stuff. There's a Twitch stream button for that there, if you want it as well, and it tells you the cars and a little bit of information about the event and stuff. If I click on it, okay, if I click on it, it takes me to the event page. Here an SRS. But I mean, like the one thing I like with Live for Speed is that they've kind of taken a lot of these things that are third party provided on other platforms. And they've integrated it into the actual sim itself, which I think is really cool. Makes it a lot easier. It gives it a lot more exposure as well. Every time I boot up Live for Speed, I am presented immediately with this list. And I can see what events are here. And if one tickles my fancy, I can be like, yeah, I want to do that. I don't see any other sim doing this. Seems to know and enjoy Live for Speed a lot. Makes me wonder why you aren't turning this into a content. Maybe I could, but I don't know, in some ways I do feel a little disconnected a bit with Live for Speed and stuff, because I've never done any of these events here. As much as I'm sat here talking about how cool these events are, I've actually never done any of these. I've never really bothered. Maybe I should. But I've never really gotten involved with them and stuff. I'm just kind of a casual dude. I don't know, I do almost feel like as well, I think part of the parcel that makes Live for Speed so sacred to me is that it's always just been a bit of a silly casual game, I guess silly's maybe a bit wrong. And I think that sort of, the fact that it's always been this really casual thing, I've only ever booted up Live for Speed for fun, because I want to. I want to go on Live for Speed. I want to just toy around with things. I've never booted it up because I felt like I have to. And I'll be honest, as much as I enjoy other sims like AC, R-Factor 2 when it works, and the likes, there is, when I get involved with these communities and stuff, it does almost feel like there's a slight obligation there to turn up. As much as I like these events, it's like I have to be here on this day, on this time, to do things. Which does kind of chain you down in some regards. While Live for Speed, the thing, I just, as I said, I boot it up as and when I want to. I boot it up when I want to play. And when I want to do things. Because, as much as I said I love racing in R-Factor 2 and AC and stuff, some days I do just sit there and think, I'm not quite as engaged as I would be on other days and the likes. So no, it's not that I don't think I am ready. I mean, I also do kind of feel like that. I have seen some of the crazy... I have seen some things of Live for Speed Online, and I do feel like I probably would be devoured. But the main thing is just the core of keeping it something that is casual and fun. I do what I want to do when I want to do it, and that's it. I'm not tied to any communities or obligations or commitments or whatever. It's not something that takes center stage on anything. It's just something I do because I like it. You know? And I think that is kind of what has helped keep it be so special for me. Quit out of that though. But I don't know. That's just personally how I feel about it. There is also, I guess, the element of slight element of like sentiment or like nostalgia, I guess. A bit more sentiment than I have for other sims because, you know, Live for Speed was the sort of first sim that I really picked up and started playing properly. So it's always kind of held a little special place for me. You know, it's always kind of been around as a thing that I've enjoyed. But, you know, not like I'm some, like, super crazy veteran OG or something like that, but when I sort of started diving into sim racing, Live for Speed was the first. And I'd owned it quite a while before that, I think, as well. Not for, like, crazy long, but for a couple of years or so, I think, before I properly started getting into sim racing. You know, actually, I can check. Like, where was that Live for Speed video I did? It's somewhere here. Eventually. One day I'll get there. Have I gone past it? Or was this video more recent than I thought? 5 years ago. But I'm pretty certain I had this before BeamNG, which was the first sort of sim, in quotation marks, that I did content on my channel. I know when you started to stream your host series you didn't really care about as content for YT. Do I sense now you're wondering what to change because you changed your... What do you mean by that exactly? I'm not fully sure I'm understanding the like sort of point that you're trying to get across here. So I don't want to just spout a load of gibberish just to be like, no, that wasn't what I asked. Going to be more of a content creator now. I mean, for what? For the past 9 years, YouTube has always been something that's kind of been in the back of my mind, you know? Some days to a lesser or greater extent than others. But it's always something that's kind of been there, you know? I'm always cooking up ideas, you know, even just randomly. Something will just pop into my head and I'll think like, oh, you know, it'd be cool to make a video about that. But 90% of the things I come up with, I don't even talk about, and they never become a video ever, you know? They just pops into my head thinking, you know, that's maybe a cool thing to do. You know, and I think with these live streams, they have opened me up to maybe talking more about some of these ideas and stuff that I have just rattling around. Because if there is any place to do it, this would be the place to do it, you know? Talking about what I want to do with the platform, on the platform, or the ideas I have of doing things on the platform, on the actual platform that I plan to do them on. Kind of deal. But, yeah, so I wouldn't really say, I want to be more or less of a content creator now than I did beforehand. It's always kind of been there in the back of my mind. The question is more, can I be bothered to execute on these ideas? The answer to that is probably still no, even if I say yes. But I don't know. I have had some ideas recently of, as I said earlier, you know, kind of branching out and maybe trialing out doing things that aren't sim racing related. Because, I mean, as we sort of discussed, I'm not really sure on what... If I was to start making, you know, I think that's kind of the reason why I haven't really made a lot of content for the channel. It's because I've not really had anything that I really want to create. There have been a couple of ideas here and there that have sort of fallen by the wayside. But, you know, nothing that's really kind of compelled me to think, yes, I must do this, and I must get it out. And, you know, there are a lot of things that I could talk about, you know. And there are a lot of things that aren't sim racing related, or racing related in general, that I could talk about. But, you know, the question is can I be bothered to? And would it even be worth doing? I don't know. Maybe one day. That day's definitely not today, because it's half an hour till this day finishes. So, I'll tell you that for a fact. I can also tell you for a fact that tomorrow there will be a video on my channel. Actually, I retract that fact. Something might happen tomorrow and I'll be like, I'll push it back till Thursday. But by the end of this week, there will be a video out on my channel. It is another announcement. It's not a proper video. So, you can sigh all you want, Adam. But, yes, there will be an announcement out in the coming days of something pretty cool that I got lined up. I'm pretty excited to see how that turns out. I'm hoping we get some interesting stuff. But, I have no fucking clue as to what's going to happen until I throw it out there. and see what happens. But yeah. Anyways. I'm messaging on multiple fronts right now. Hold your line. Well, I think we can continue this conversation in Discord and the likes if you want to continue on. I think this stream's gone on for long enough, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. But I'll no doubt be around for a while longer, ready to chat shit on social platforms and what have you, mainly Discord, just things. But yeah, I think I wanna wrap this stream up here. So yeah, just to tie things off, thanks to everyone who showed up and raced. Thanks to everyone who watched and chatted. There was a few interesting moments tonight, but it was a decent stream overall. So yeah, thanks everyone, and I've dragged this out for way too long now. So see you guys all next week. Adios.